Question. What are you holding? One of these? Or one of these? Welcome back, friends. Happy Monday. Couple of things right off the bat. One, this is not my attempt to teach you how to fix a flat tire. I'm assuming that all of you already know how to do that. If you don't, there have got to be 1,000 different videos online to show you how to do that. I will, as we get into the little program today, give you some things that I think some people miss, especially when they're on the side of the road. Second thing is, if you're running a tubeless setup, I mean, most of this is probably not for you. And before you start typing, I am well aware of the pros and cons of running tubeless. I did it very early on. For me, the juice just ain't worth the squeeze. So that may change at some point, but for now, I'm still rocking good old inner tubes. So wider tires are great. They make the bike more compliant. They're more comfortable, and they lessen the likelihood of you getting a puncture, that lower pressure. But flats still do happen. So how do I address that? Well, back when dirt was new, we all rode skinny tires and we used frame pumps. That was really all there was. We didn't know any better, and we dealt with it. And then we discovered CO2 inflators, and the sun came out a little bit. A 16 gram CO2 inflator could get that Corsa CX tubular inflated enough to get you home, which was really all. Anytime you're fixing a flat on the road, it's just to be able to get back on the bike and get back home. So when I bought my A-Homer Hilson, I was all in. I hook, line, and sinker, and I broke out my old Silka frame pump with the campy steel head, and it fit under the top tube of my Rivendell, and I was like, here we go. And not long after that, I got a flat. And immediately after that, I remembered just how awful frame pumps are. I'm sure that you have the one that works perfectly. I am not interested. And I thought, this is ridiculous, and I went back to CO2. Not using my noggin, sometime after that, I got another flat. And what I discovered was that 16 grams of CO2 is not going to inflate a 42 millimeter wide tire. It just ain't. Now, luckily, I always carry 2 cartridges, but you don't really fully use the second one. And that's when I started thinking, why not carry both? You know what else gets me deflated, now that I think about it? When you don't like the video and subscribe to the channel. So what I do is I carry a mini pump. I realize this one isn't mini, but that's just the one that was in the bag. A mini pump will get the thing started. You get some shape in the tube so that you don't pinch flat your brand new tube that you've just replaced. So lesson number 1 is take your time. Slow is smooth and smooth is fast, as they say. We're not in any rush. If it's hot and sunny out, Drag the bike over to some shade. Take your time. Run your hand along the inside. I mean, and if you've got a little pump with you, if you keep that tube oriented, you may be able to get enough air in the flat tube to actually see where the puncture is. That would be ideal. If you can't do that, run your hand around on the inside of the tire. Gently. You don't want to cut your finger open on a piece of wire or a piece of glass, then you'll be bleeding and have a flat tire, and that's not good. Once you've determined that there's nothing in the tire, at least that you can find, use the pump to give the tube some shape. Get everything reinstalled. Don't forget to push the valve stem up. Clear that. Use the pump to then start the process of inflating the tire, then use the CO2 cartridge to finish it off. They do, they've started making, and this is not recently, within the last probably 2 or 3 years, you now get 20-gram CO2 cartridges. But I'm still carrying 16s, and I just carry 2 of them. But if you use the small pump to get the thing started, the 16-gram CO2 cartridge should take care of the rest. Again, we're just trying to put enough air in that tire so that you can ride it home. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be exact. You just need to make sure you got enough air in there to actually get up back on the bike. So that's what I do. I'd be interested to know what you do. It was a busy week last week. You want to see what I'm working on? That's going to be a good one. I got work to do. I hope something good happens to you today.